For better understanding sake, I am dividing this tension part into two parts. One is using constraint relations and other part is without using constraint relations. So in today's class we will try to discuss tension without constraint relations. So today's topic is tension. Okay. Now I told you right from the start, okay, very clearly, that is your tension is electromagnetic force. It is in pulling direction. Okay, so however the string is, it will pull accordingly. Okay, it will pull the object in the pulling direction. Okay, if it is to the right of this block, it will pull, tension will apply force towards right. If tension is in the front, it will pull it towards front. If it is towards left, left. So pulling direction, pull means closer. Okay, so if the rope is right, it will pull the object closer to it. Okay, now coming to this part, okay, there are certain basic things that I want you to understand. Okay, now for example, let us say you have a rope. Okay, now this rope's mass is m, length is l. Okay, now here if you are applying some force F, okay, let us say this is a uniform rope. Okay, now generally ropes will have mass. Okay, now somewhere here, okay, what is my, okay, through problems, as a function of problems we will try to do. Okay, so like this, for example, if I give you a question, okay, somewhere this point is at a distance of x, find tension as function of distance is your first question, let us say. Okay, now if you look at this, okay, at molecular level what happens, I will tell you. Now out of this big rope, if I divide it into small parts, here, like this, okay, small dm parts of width some dm1, dm2, mass dm1, dm2, dm3, like this. Now remember, first and foremost important point is, if you take your free body diagram of this small part here, on this your force F is applied towards right. Small tension, if it is some point A here, some TA will be acting here. If you take one more dm mass here, okay, TA will be acting towards right and TB will be acting towards left. If this is some B, if you take some other C here, on this C part, TC, TB will be acting towards right, TC will be acting towards left, like this. So here my point is, at each point there will be different tensions here. Okay, if the rope is having mass, okay, first and foremost point is, if rope is having mass, okay, if rope is having mass, tension at different points, will be different. Okay, at different points it will be different. Okay, so now at this point how much it is means, F minus TA is equal to dm1 into A. Okay, now if this mass is 0, then your force is equal to TA, TA is equal to TB, TB equal to TC, like this. You will have tension constant if it is massless, but here it is not massless part, here there is some mass. Okay, getting my point? So first and foremost point that I want you to notice, if rope is having mass, tension at different points will be different. If it is massless, tension is constant everywhere. Now in this case, for this rope, okay, what is happening is your mass is distributed along the length. So now because this rope is having some mass, I will divide this into parts, okay, into different parts like this. If I divide, then from this it is very clear that at different points you will have different tension, okay. Now what I will do is, I don't need this complete part. So if I divide this string into two parts, okay. So first part is a length of x. Second part is a length of L minus x. On this tension T of x will act this way. On this tension T of x will act this way. Your applied force F is this way. Okay. Here what is that I am doing? I have a rope of mass m, length L. I am dividing this into two parts. One side you have x and other side you have L minus x. Now if you observe this carefully, your net force is F minus T of x is equal to, if this part's mass is m1, if this part's mass is m2, it is m1 into a, and here it is T of x is equal to m2 into a. Okay, first try to understand this. Okay, what is that I am doing? I am dividing this into two parts. Okay, one part of length x, other part of length L minus x. Okay, so I have a rope. This rope is having mass. If it is having mass, I have tried to explain and I have shown you that mass is, if mass is present to the rope, then tension is not constant everywhere. At different points you will have different tension. So in this case, okay, I am splitting this rope into two parts. The right side part is, okay, having this equation, left side part is having that equation. Now because this is uniform rope, if m mass is having length L, m1 mass, okay, if m1 mass is having a length of x, then from in direct proportion, more mass more length, so in direct proportion what is that you do is, you will cross multiply. So m1 into L is equal to capital M into x. Your m1 is capital M by Lx, that is your m1 is lambda into x, where lambda is mass per unit length. Okay, so your mass per unit length of the rope is lambda, that is m by L. So your mass of this part is m1 is equal to lambda into x. Similarly, for mass m, length L, mass m2, your length was given as L minus x. If you cross multiply, m2 into L is equal to capital L times L minus x. From here, what is m2 means? It is lambda times L minus x, where lambda is total mass by total length. Now if you add these two, okay, you are going to get your force plus T minus T will go off. You are going to get as m1 plus m2 into a. Okay, now from here you are going to get the acceleration. Now once you get the acceleration, your tension as a function of x is what? m2 into a. Bring this a and substitute it here. That will give you m2 times f by m1 plus m2. What is m2 means? This lambda part you substitute it here to get the answer. Okay, hope you have understood it. Okay, many teachers will directly start assuming that tension is constant, but I am telling you tension is constant only if rope is having mass. If rope if rope is massless, okay, in the questions you will be given a word as light. Okay, light in the sense it is massless, but if mass is there, this is what you are supposed to do. Okay, where your m2 is lambda times L minus x, m1 is lambda into x. Like this you have to calculate the tension and then do the calculation. Okay, find T of x comma acceleration is the question, something like this. If I give, this is how you are supposed to do it. Okay, right? So now hope you have understood it. Okay, and there are no doubts. Okay, so now next let us consider the rope is hanging to the ceiling. Okay, so I am discussing through problems, but if you have any doubts, just let me know. Okay, if you are watching online, keep comments. I will respond to those comments whenever I am free. Next, now second part is, okay, let us consider your second application is, let us say you have a rope of mass m, length L. It is hanging like this. Okay. Now from the bottom, okay, you are supposed to calculate what is the tension. Okay. Find T of x, where x is distance from bottom. Okay. In the previous question also, from which side you are taking, that is important. Okay, so now here you are supposed to give tension at the bottom. Okay, now first of all, to understand certain things, okay, I want you to understand that at molecular level tension develops because of pulling. Okay, usually your molecules will be at equilibrium position, that is minimum potential energy position. Now when you subject these molecules to some external force, they will get disturbed from equilibrium position. As a result, some intermolecular and intramolecular forces will develop and your potential energy gets disturbed. As a result, trying to rebalance or trying to attain minimum potential energy position, once again internally your electromagnetic force and or tension will develop. So now your tension comes because of pulling. Okay, so now from this point what I have told, I want you to understand that tension develops. Okay, tension develops, comes is not the correct word, tension develops because of pulling. Okay, so because of pulling, tension will develop in the strings. Okay, now because of the tension is developing because of pulling, no? So what is that? From this I want to explain is, if you are taking this rope, okay, here at the bottom no molecules to pull. Okay, at bottom no molecules to pull. When there are no molecules to pull, tension at bottom is equal to 0. Now next important thing is, I will divide this into two parts. This distance is x, this distance is L minus x. So now if I take the bottom part, this bottom part is having a distance of x, tension as a function of x, T of x will be upwards because top will pull upwards, tension at bottom is 0, gravitational force because of this mass is m into g, plus tension bottom, this is anyhow 0. Now if you consider equilibrium of this part, okay, I am taking the bottom part, okay, from here to here, this bottom part I am taking. So if I consider equilibrium of this bottom part, okay, on this bottom part, what is the equilibrium means? Okay, your T of x minus mg is equal to 0. Okay, now following the same logic, m mass length L, okay, small m mass length x. From here small m is lambda into x or capital M by L into x. This is your small mass. So from that your T of x minus, what is small m means, m by L into x into g is equal to 0. From here what is your tension as a function of distance means, it is mgx by L. This is your tension. Okay, now at topmost position, okay, at bottom, okay, to check this, when x is 0, at the bottom how much is the tension? T of x is mg by L into 0, that is equal to 0. at top your x is equal to L, so your T of x is equal to mg into L by L, that is equal to mg. Okay, so whenever mass is involved, you have to split the question into parts like this, and for that particular part how much is the mass, and accordingly you have to do the calculation. Okay, so this is how you calculate your string or rope where mass is present. Okay, now unless otherwise mentioned, okay, unless otherwise mentioned, we will consider light or massless strings. Okay, only if mass is present for a rope, your tension will be different. Okay, if mass is not given, or if the word light is mentioned, good books will be mentioning the word light. Okay, but my point is, okay, very clear. If the word light or massless is what you are seeing, then tension in the rope is constant. Okay, it will not change. At any point your tension will remain constant. Okay, unless otherwise mentioned, take constant. Okay, right. Next, coming to the next part. Okay, if you are given, okay, nothing is mentioned. Okay, if nothing is mentioned, if nothing is mentioned, consider massless string. Okay, now based on this we will start doing simple questions. Now your first example is in this part, your application number 3, I suppose. I have discussed previously 2. Let us say there is a mass m1 here. Let us say there is another mass m2 here. Let us say there is another mass m3 here, and you are applying some force F. Now all the surfaces are smooth. Okay, all surfaces are smooth. This is string A, this is string B. Okay, your question is find tension TA, TB, acceleration of blocks. This is your question. Okay, now how will you solve means, okay, from now on always look for reference frame, okay, and also look for FBDs. Okay, in Newton's laws of motion and friction, and from now on any chapter you have to mark FBDs first. If you are marking FBDs correctly, the forces directions, then only you will get the answer. Okay, so in the previous lecture I have explained how to mark FBD, so you have to consider only the reactions, so it will not be a big deal. So now first if I take, okay, FBD of M3, okay, first I will start with M3. So on M3 towards right you have force F, okay, and then you have tension TB acting this way. Okay, vertical direction it is not required because I am applying the forces in the horizontal direction. So in the vertical direction it will not move from common sense, and anyhow even if forces act, this N and mg will balance. So in the horizontal direction from FBD of M3, what is the equation that you are going to write is F minus TB is equal to M3 into A. Okay, next FBD of M2, okay, so from M2, okay, your tension TB is acting towards left, tension TA is acting towards right, TB minus TA is equal to M2 into A. Okay, here the acceleration is same, okay, because let us say the strings are light and inextensible. Okay, let us say I am mentioning the word inextensible strings. So inextensible strings means all the blocks will have same displacement, same velocity and same acceleration. Now similarly, if I take FPD of M1, so on M1 if you are taking, there is only one force TA. TA is equal to M1 into A. Okay, so because it is accelerating, I told you previously and also now also I will tell you the same. Here is F acting on M1? No. Okay, on M1, why is M1 moving means your answer is tension because of the string. Okay, TA, tension TA is causing force on this M1 because of which it is accelerating. Okay, so now coming to the next part, TB minus TA is equal to M2 into A. F minus TB is equal to M3 into A. So if I add plus TB minus TB plus TA minus TA, your force F is M1 plus M2 plus M3 into A. From here you will get the acceleration. Okay, now once you get the acceleration, substitute in this TA to get M1 times what is your acceleration means it is F by M1 plus M2 plus M3. Okay, and your TB is M2 into A plus TA. So from this equation from the FBD of this I am writing it. So you are going to get M2 F by M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus what is TA means TA is M1 into F by M1 plus M2 plus M3. So you are going to get M1 plus M2 into F by M1 plus M2 plus M3. Similarly, substitute into other equation to get the acceleration in this case. Okay, now here I have mentioned nothing. Obviously that means these strings are light, so that is why tension at this point, they are same. Tension at this point and this point it is TA and it is same. Any point in between also you will have same tension. Okay, because I have mentioned the word, it is light or massless. Okay, right. Now next I will erase this part, I will continue ahead. Okay, now coming to the next part. Okay, copy down these things will help you to understand the subject. Okay, tough part using constraint relations I will do a separate lecture. In today's lecture only simple questions. Now next thing is Atwood's machine. Okay, your next idea is Atwood's machine. So now what is your Atwood's machine is, if you have a mass M1 here and if you have one more mass M2 here, okay, two masses connected like this is your simple Atwood's machine. And let us say your M2 is greater than M1. Okay, let us say this is application number 4. Okay, in the problems he will give you numbers, that's all, you will be able to do it, don't worry. Your question is find acceleration of blocks. Number 2, tension in string. Number 3, velocity as function of time when released from rest. Distance covered, okay, displacement also as function of time or distance covered as function of time, some x or y, whatever you take, that is up to you. Okay, now these are the values that I am supposed to find out. Now remember, okay, in questions where pulley is related, if nothing is mentioned, unless and until we talk of rotational dynamics chapter and we are considering moment of inertia, okay, if nothing is spoken about pulley, then it is massless. This pulley is massless. Point number 1. Point number 2, this string is, okay, light and inextensible. Why you are using the word light? Why you are using the word inextensible? I will tell you. So unless otherwise mentioned, consider massless. Massless means it will not consume any energy. Okay. Now here, why is this inextensible part? I will tell you. Now if this is m1, if this is m2 like this, now from here to here, if you are trying to take the distance as x2, from here to here, if this distance as x1, now if you look at this wire, okay, this string, now if it is inextensible, okay, if it is inextensible, then if this block moves by y, this block will come down by y, okay, because both blocks will have same displacement because the string is inextensible. Okay, so my point is, if you have 2 points on a string A and B, if A moves to A dash, B moves to B dash, if it is inextensible, this distance is supposed to be same for both, then only you can call this string to be inextensible. So if this comes up, this comes down. If this comes down, okay, if this comes down by some other distance y dash, then this should go up by y dash. One block comes down, other comes up. This block goes down, this comes up, but by same displacement. Same displacement will indicate same velocity and same acceleration. Okay, so I will write that point very clearly. Okay, in constraint relations I will explain very clearly why these two are same once again, but for now, okay, in a single string, okay, so here you have only one string or rope or thread. Okay, if it is massless, tension is same. Okay, massless, tension is same. Inextensible, okay, if you are using the word inextensible, then connected bodies will have same displacement, same velocity, not velocity, same displacement in the sense distance you are taking, velocity in the sense speed, okay, magnitude. If one is coming down, other will go up. Velocity is a vector, okay, and same acceleration. I am talking of magnitudes. Okay, directions will be different, but your magnitudes of displacement, velocity and acceleration will be same. Okay, so keep these points in mind before solving any of these questions. Now I hope you have understood it. Copy this stuff, okay, because I need space. I will continue. So now coming to FBD of M1, okay, while drawing FBD of body M1, consider only M1, do not look at any other bodies. So on M1, what is your direction? Next, coming to your FBD of M2, okay, so on M2, what is your direction? Okay, so your mass M2 will be M2 into G, your tension is T, okay, your mass is M1 into G, your tension is T, okay, because you have only one rope, one tension. Now if you look at this figure, you do know the fact that because M2 is greater than M1, this comes down with acceleration A, this comes down, this goes up with acceleration A. Same displacement x, same displacement x, same velocity v, same velocity v, because you have only one string. Okay, if there are, if there is more than one string, things will be different, but here you will have same velocity. Now observe carefully. If this comes down with acceleration A, this must go up with acceleration A. Okay, we know that from common sense, if this is coming down, this goes up with A. So now here, what is your equation is T minus m1g is equal to m1 into A, m2g minus T is equal to m2 into A. Okay, this I am writing because in which direction I am writing, why I am writing, I will tell you. Because the body is coming downwards, downward force minus upward force equal to ma. Because the body is going upwards, upward force minus downward force is equal to m1 into A. If not, whatever is up positive, whatever is down negative, still you will get the same equation with a negative sign. So now if you solve these equations, okay, so I will bring this equation into this part here and I will try to solve. So sorry, T minus m1g will be equal to m1 into A. Now if I add these two equations, plus T minus T will go off. So your acceleration is m2 minus m1 into g by m1 plus m2. Okay, this is your acceleration. Okay, and coming to your tension, okay, take this tension and substitute it here. So your tension is T minus m1g is equal to m1 into A. You substitute into that equation. I need space. I don't know whether it is actually visible or not. I will erase this part. So now if I do so, I will directly substitute it. T is equal to m1 times g plus A, that is m2 minus m1 into g by m1 plus m2. I have written this step directly. So you are going to get T is equal to m1g times m1 plus m2 plus m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2. So plus m1 minus m1 will go off. You are going to get T is equal to 2 m1 m2 into g by m1 plus m2. Okay, so this is your tension. Okay, now we have calculated tension. We are getting it as 2 m1 m2 into g by m1 plus m2. Okay, now these two equations alone will give you acceleration and tension. Now we are supposed to calculate your velocity as a function of time. Now if you look at this figure, your body m2 is coming downwards, so it is v bar is equal to u bar plus a bar into t. Because acceleration is constant, here it is not changing with respect to time, I can apply v equal to u plus at. So according to that, this part, because it is starting from rest 0, plus what is your acceleration means, substitute that value, you are going to get v equal to at. So after time t, this block will move with a into t velocity downwards, this block will move upwards with a into t velocity. And coming to your position, okay, coming to your position, what is that you can do is, you can apply s bar is equal to u bar into t plus half a bar into t square. Because your initial velocity is 0, it is 0, so plus half into acceleration is a into t square. This is your displacement, or some, if this is some x, so your x is equal to half a t square. So this block will come down by x, this block will go up by x. Okay, so finally it lands down here, it goes up like this. Okay, so like this we have to calculate acceleration, tension, displacement, velocity for both the blocks. Okay, now in this part, okay, I have just simply taken that this is fixed. Now we in the next coming cases, I will change this to some lift reference frame, because I have explained pseudo force. We will change the system into some other part, but before that I will just do the same thing in a different method, that is using conservation of energy. So now this same tension and acceleration, we can actually get it from conservation of energy. Okay, not all the quantities, we have to use kinematics equations to get velocities, but we will try to apply energy conservation here. Let us say this is coming down by x. Now what is your energy conservation theorem is, your second method is method 2. Your energy conservation theorem is energy lost is equal to energy gained. Okay, so now what is your energy lost means this body is losing potential energy. Okay, so this is m2 into g into x. Okay, only potential energy is lost by this body, no other energy is lost here. So m2 into g into x is equal to potential energy gained is m1 into g into x plus your kinetic energy of this block that it gains is half m2 v square plus kinetic energy of first block is half m1 into v square. Now if you simplify this, m2 minus m1 into g into x is equal to half of m1 plus m2 into v square. Now I will differentiate it with respect to time. So differentiating with respect to time, what is that you are going to get is your m2 minus m1 into g is constant, only x is variable, so that is dx by dt is equal to half of m1 plus m2 into this part is constant times derivative of v square is 2v into dv by dt. Okay, so my point is if you have some z equal to y square, your dz by dx is 2y times dy by dx. This is actually called as chain rule of differentiation. Please do watch my previous videos if you have any doubts. So this will give you m2 minus m1 into g times what is dx by dt means it is v, that is equal to half of m1 plus m2 into 2v into what is dv by dt is acceleration. Okay, so this 2 will cancel off and a v will go off, so you are going to get a as, okay, m2 minus m1 into g by m1 plus m2, which is same as previous answer I suppose. Okay, so now this is how you are going to calculate your acceleration, and substituting acceleration once again from FBD only we have to calculate the tension. Okay, so this energy method gives us only acceleration. Okay, now I will continue further coming to the next part. Okay, so we will slightly extend these ideas and we will try to solve different questions. Your next question is, let us say you have, okay, I think it is some application number 6 I suppose. You have a 5 kg block, you have a 3 kg block, attached to this there is some pulley and there is a 4 kg block attached to this, 2 kg block, all surfaces are smooth. Let us say this is string A, let us say this is string B. Question is, find TA, TB, acceleration of blocks, and then reaction by support on pulley. Okay, what is this reaction by support on pulley? I will explain now, but first try this part, then I will explain the required answer. So now if you take this question, if you are looking at FBD of each, okay, actually I have to draw separate diagram, but if I do so I want space. So if this comes down by A, if nothing is mentioned, I told you consider light inextensible string. So this also goes with A, this also goes with A. Okay, right, point number 1. Next, this on this body there is force 2G, and you have tension TA here, okay, and on the pulley you will have TA this way and TA acting this way. I will come to this part later. On 3 kg block, TA will act this way, TB will act this way, because right side rope will pull towards right, left side rope will pull towards left, and here also your TA will be this way. Okay, actually I am telling you this is a very bad method of solving the problem. Only just to save space I have put these forces. Actually FBD means this is not how you are supposed to draw. You have to draw separately like this, separately for this part, separately for this part, separately for this part. Okay, but because of the space constraint I am doing this. A good problem solving culture is drawing each figure separately. Okay, now coming to this equations part, okay, your first equation is 2G minus TA is equal to 2 times A. This is FBD of this 2 kg block. Next, from FBD of 3 kg block, TA minus TB is equal to 3 times A. This will move in the horizontal direction. In the vertical direction and mg will cancel off. And coming to your TA part, your TA is equal to phi A. So if I add these two, on this only there is one force. In the vertical direction forces are cancelling off. So plus TA, oh sorry, this is TB. Okay, only one string or rope, so TB. So TB plus TB minus TB plus TA minus TA. So 2G is equal to 5 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 2, 10. So 10A, your acceleration is 20 by 10, that is equal to 2 meter per second square. Now substitute this back. Your tension TB is how much means? Phi A, that is equal to 5 into 2, 10. Your TA is 20 minus TA is equal to 2 times A, that is equal to 4. So TA is equal to 20 minus 4, 16. Okay, from these FBD equations I am writing. So I have calculated TA, TB and A. Now what is this reaction by support on the pulley is the important part that I want to focus now. So now if you look at this figure, on this pulley there are two forces. One is TA here and one more TA is like this. Okay, now if there is a force on this pulley, okay, what will happen? This force will, okay, what will this force do is, okay, this force will accelerate the pulley, because here net force is not 0 because of this TA and TA. Now to balance this, your reaction by the pulley, okay, will act in somewhat this direction, so that your reaction because of support on the pulley plus your tension TA bar, which is downwards if it is some 1, and if this is some 2, TA1 bar plus TA2 bar together will cause this pulley to be at rest. Okay, mass of this pulley is 0, so net force is 0, even though it is accelerating, mass is 0, so that is why your net force is 0. F equal to ma, if you are writing m is 0 means force is 0. So indirectly your reaction R bar plus, what is this first force means, because it is downwards, I can just simply write it as minus TA j cap plus your TA2, this force is towards left, so that will become minus TA I cap, this must be equal to 0. Your reaction R bar is, okay, TA is how much means 16, you send it to other side, it will become 16 I cap plus 16 j cap. Your magnitude of reaction is under root x component square plus y component square, that will give you 16 root 2 as your answer. Okay, so like this you are supposed to calculate reaction force. If it is in vector form, you give it in vector form. Okay, if it is asked in terms of magnitude, do this. Okay, like this you are supposed to do these questions. Now coming to the next example, what is that I am going to do is, I am going to consider an inclined plane and then we are going to do the questions. So now let us say you have an inclined plane. On inclined plane there are different blocks. So now On this inclined plane, if you are trying to solve the equations, let us say this angle is theta equal to 30 degrees. Let us say you have two blocks, 2 kg block, 3 kg block. First we will consider basic case. There is a pulley here and there is 1 kg block. Okay. Now, before doing this, I want to do one more example and then I will come back to this, because doing that will enhance your clarity. So now let us say you have a situation where this side the angle is alpha, this side the angle is beta. You have a block of mass m1 and you have a pulley here. Somehow you are managing the pulley to keep it, fix it like this, and then you have the angles m1 and m2 like this. Question is, all surfaces are smooth. Find acceleration of block. That is your question. Now if you are trying to do this question, there are certain basic things that I want you to understand. Now first and foremost important idea is, if you have an inclined plane like this and its mass is m, okay, now I will just, for understanding sake, what we are doing is rigid body dynamics, and that is actually particle dynamics. So this big object can be assumed to be a point mass. So if it is some point mass like this, okay, now if you imagine the axis here, if this angle is theta, this angle will be theta. Now this gravitational force, if it is mg like this mg can be resolved into two parts. One is mg cos theta and other is mg sin theta. Now why is that we are resolving mg into two different parts like this? Means because the body is moving parallel to inclined plane, we have to consider the forces parallel to inclined plane and perpendicular to inclined plane. So according to that logic, okay, in this case, okay, what will act here is m1g sin alpha, okay, normal reaction n1 will be this way, m1g cos alpha will be this way, your tension T will be this way. Okay, next on m2, this is m2g sin beta, parallel to this it is m2g cos beta, sorry, perpendicular to this is normal reaction n2, this is your tension T. Okay, hope you are getting my point. Okay, so here acceleration of block as well as reaction is my question. Now I want you to understand point number one, that is, whenever you are given inclined plane like this, because the body motion is parallel to inclined plane, we will resolve the forces parallel to inclined plane and perpendicular to inclined plane. Now in this scenario, if I try to understand certain basic things, okay, now here if I just simply give you two blocks m1 and m2, it doesn't matter what mass I have. If I consider these two as a system, if this side F1 force is acting and this side if F2 force is acting, overall this system will move in which direction the force is more. It has nothing to do with masses m1 and m2. So in this case, if F1 is more, this system will move towards right. If F2 is more, this system will move towards left. Okay, if you can't identify which is more, okay, what happens is, okay, I mean if the forces are equal, they will not move at all, because this side force, that side force is anyhow balancing each other. But if which side the force is more, accordingly your system will move. Now if you are taking these two as your system, these two blocks, which is represented by my dotted line like this, now in this scenario your tension is the internal force. Okay, so that tension will not decide, or that masses will not decide which side the block will move. If m2g sin beta is greater than m1g sin alpha, Okay, so this block will move downwards, this block will move upwards. Okay, if this is more, this moves downwards, this will move upwards. In such a case, okay, other case you can do it, no issues. If m2g sin beta greater than m1g sin alpha, okay, then m2 comes down, m1 goes up of inclined plane like this. Okay, so if you write equations like this, m2g sin beta minus tension T is equal to m2 times acceleration A. Okay, and if this comes down, this goes up. So your next equation is T minus, because same string you will have same tension, T minus m1g sin alpha is equal to m1 into A. Now add these two, T will go off. You are going to get m2g sin beta minus m1g sin alpha is equal to m1 plus m2 into A. If you are adding it, from here you are going to get the value of A, substitute it back, get the value of T. Okay, now coming to the reaction at support. So at the support, if you want the reaction, just simply draw your reference axis like this. Now on the pulley, okay, having string like this will cause one T this way, having string this way will cause one more T like this. Now this angle, if it is beta, this angle will be beta, this angle will be 90 minus alpha. Having this angle as alpha, this side this angle will be alpha. Your reaction R bar plus, assume that this is 1, this is 2, of course both are equal to T, that is a different story. So R bar plus T1 bar plus T2 bar is equal to 0, because this is actually mass times acceleration, because mass is 0, your force is 0. So this will give you R bar plus, what is T1? Your T1 is, it is in fourth quadrant, T cos beta I cap minus T sin beta j cap minus, okay, T cos alpha I cap minus T sin alpha j cap, that is equal to 0. Okay, so sorry, it is in third quadrant now. So minus T cos alpha minus T sin alpha j cap. From here your R bar is, okay, so send it to other side and simplify accordingly. So I think you should get T cos alpha minus T cos beta I cap, sending it to other side, plus T sin alpha minus T sin beta j cap. Substitute this T, whatever you are getting here, into that equation. Okay, so whenever you have inclined planes, you are supposed to do the equations like this. Okay, so this is how you are going to do it. Okay, now connected to this inclined plane also you can draw FBDs and then do the equations. Okay, right now these basic questions are enough. Now next, when you are given questions related to reading of spring balance, you are hanging some mass and you are attaching some spring balance to a question like this. Let us say you have a 2 kg block, you have a 3 kg block, and now let us say you are attaching this to some spring balance like this. Now what is the reading shown? Find reading shown by spring balance. So now here, if this is the scenario, okay, now if you take your FBD of pulley, on pulley, right side rope will pull it downwards, left side will pull it downwards. To balance this, you will have some T dash. So because net force is equal to mass times acceleration, here the pulley is massless, it is 0. Your T dash minus 2T is equal to 0, your T dash is equal to 2T. So that means on the top part there is a value of reaction of 2T. Now on this spring balance, okay, if you are pulling it with a downward force of 2T, your 2T is nothing but your reading shown. So now first we have to calculate T. So now we have seen that previously what is your acceleration means. From FBDs you can calculate T 3g, this comes down with A, this is T, this is 2g, this comes up with acceleration A. So now 3g minus T is equal to 3 times A, T minus 2g is equal to 2 times A. So plus T minus T is 3 minus 2 is g, that is equal to 5A. So your acceleration is g by 5, that is equal to 10 by 5, that is equal to 2. Now coming to your tension, 3g minus T is equal to 3 times A is 2. So T is equal to 30 minus 6, that is equal to 24. So your reading is, okay, 2T, that is equal to 2 times 24, that is equal to 48. So it will show around 4.8 kg weight or 48 Newton. Okay, so that is the reading shown by the machine. Okay, so from here we will continue in the next class. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.